There we go. Gotta make sure everything's straight. So again, I'll start over again. My name is Jerome Hutchinson Jr. I am the founder and chief serving officer for Icaba, and very happy to have you here with us today for this webinar. So this Icaba Live is all about perfecting your pitch to power your success. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen so that I can share some information with you. And give me a second as we do that. And we're get started here. Just a second, get the Zoom dashboard out of my way. And I will get my screen up. It looks like I got a few things going on here. All right, here we go. So again, as I said, I want to welcome you this morning to the Icaba Live webinar. And as we get started, I want to first just take a moment, and we always start our events with a prayer. So if you don't mind, I'm just want to ask the Holy Spirit to take charge of everything that we're about to do today, and thank Him for bringing us together for this time and this moment, and that it will be a learning experience that everyone will walk away fulfilled, having grown in the skill and knowledge and expertise in being able to successfully pitch their ideas for jobs, for business, for whatever their needs are. These things we pray and ask your son, Jesus' name, and that all goes well with the internet. Amen.
Amen.
And Zoom.
Word.
Yeah, you know how technology can be. So for those of you who are new to Icaba, I wanted to take just a minute to share with you that we're a trusted community of professionals and entrepreneurs building relationships to enhance our career, business, and lifestyle. And also wanted to share with you our vision. Our goal over the next 3 to 5 years, if you will, is to build a thriving global network of 1 million plus accomplished professionals and entrepreneurs who are really focused on building relationships that will enhance our capacity to lead and build wealth and empower our community. Our mission is to connect those folks who are part of Icaba to the kinds of relationships, information, and opportunities that will enhance your career, business, and lifestyle. So that's who we are. That's what we're all about. And we're glad that you are here to share this moment with us. And we'll continue to move forward, although new people are coming on board here. Just to give you an idea of Icaba in terms of our member profile and who we are, we're a little over 13,000 strong in our network right now. Sorry about that. And you can see from the screen to get an idea of the types of individuals in terms of their profile, ages, education, income, and so on. To give you a feel for what all we do, Icaba, in terms of our business model, we deliver our value proposition through events, webinars, masterclasses, online community, and our online marketplace. Give you a little idea of our events. I'm going to share a little quick video.
I attend Icaba events as often as possible because the connections and the networking opportunities are immeasurable.
Keith Arnold with BB&T. We're proud to sponsor Icaba and continue to sponsor Icaba. A wonderful event today with wonderful speakers, and I don't see how anybody could have come here and not taken away some sort of valuable nugget that they need or can do to connect with other professionals and to help their own business.
Icaba is great. It's really a great incubator for connections and business relationships and educating new business people into the world of business.
It's always an honor and a pleasure to attend Icaba events. I always learn a lot, and I look forward to attending more.
I attended the Icaba breakfast for the first time and found the discussion very relevant and pertinent. I had a great time. Look forward to coming back.
So we're now working to deliver that same experience, if you will, to the virtual space. And one of the ways that we're also doing that, we've recently launched a new Icaba World community. We had one since 2017. For those of you who are not familiar with our community, I guess one of the easy ways that I can sometimes bring you into a perspective is that I jokingly refer to it as LinkedIn. So it's a great way for you to be able to build relationships, get connected to individuals who can really help you to grow in your career and your business and lifestyle, and you can do the same, for them. I think that given the social justice issues that we've been dealing with, I'm hearing more and more people in our community wanting to, network and collaborate and work with each other. So we're really there, to help you to be able to do that. And we also have the Icaba World Marketplace, which is coming online next week. It's really interesting because we did a virtual town hall and so we're doing all of that, and so that's going to be hopefully a pretty interesting opportunity for us as we go forward. So now that I've shared with you about Icaba, I really want to share with you about the person that we are here to hear from, and that is Precious Williams. So Precious, the question is, have you ever met a full-figured diva who has taken the business world by storm and won big? Well, I tell you what, if you haven't, you have now. Her name is Precious L. Williams, also affectionately known as the Killer Pitchmaster. She can help you to slay all competition with her killer elevator pitches, media pitches, and investor pitches. She is a world-class communicator who works with successful women entrepreneurs and helps them to take their professional pitching and speaking skills to the next level. With over 24 years of experience in creating unique branding, speaking, and marketing techniques, Williams trains clients and sales teams at Fortune 100 companies how to remain authentic and transparent when presenting to distinctive audiences. She's a 13-time National Business Elevator Pitch champion, and she has also been featured on the ABC's Shark Tank, CNN, MSNBC, Wall Street Journal, Leap, the movie Leap, and others around the world. Her philosophy of her killer pitches is evident in the strategic and personalized creative communications and presentation solutions that she helps other folks to develop and put forth. She's equipped to bring life, authenticity, strategy, and boldness to all of your oral and written communication needs. And she is a graduate of HBCU, Spelman College. Any Spelman in the house?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. She is also a graduate of the Rutgers School of Law and currently lives in Brooklyn, New York. So without any further ado, it is my pleasure to turn over the mic, if you will, digitally, and to Precious Williams. Precious, we are very excited to have you with us here this morning. And I'm going to let you get started. I'm going to cue up your presentation, and then we'll be ready to get going. Before we do that, a couple of housekeeping matters I want to make sure I mention. We are going to take your question, but we are going to ask that you ask your questions in the chat room, and then we will call on you and unmute you to be able to ask your questions. We will have an opportunity to engage. And I think most of you are, if you will, webinar proficient. So I see most everybody has already muted. And secondly, use your reactions. So matter of fact, for those of you who may not have ever used a reaction, you'll see that thumbs up at the bottom of your screen. You've got a thing that says reactions. You can, if you like to hear something, thumbs up. If it's really great, give an applause. And so also let you know this webinar is being recorded and it will be available in our Icaba World community. So you'll be able to catch it later if you don't get it right now. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can hear from Precious, and give me just a minute and I will get her pulled up.
You ready for me, Hutch?
Just about. Go ahead and start talking, and I'll have it up in just a second.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Precious Williams, and I'm the proud founder and CEO of Perfect Pitches by Precious. And I am hired by Fortune 500 companies, top nonprofits, executives, speakers, and entrepreneurs to help them slay all competition. As Hutch already said, I'm a 13-time national elevator pitch champion. I'm also a #1 best-selling author of 2 business books on pitching, and I have delighted audiences around the world. I'm an international professional speaker, a serial entrepreneur, and I did all of this by being me. If you hear me, you know that I have an accent. I'm from the inner city of St. Louis, Missouri. Haven't lost the accent, and I truly love what I do. So this session is about perfecting your pitch. I am so glad to be here, and so I'm going to add fun and energy and everything to what it is that we're going to talk about today. Next slide. So what time is it? Now, I don't know about y'all know Morris Day, the time? It's really time to make some serious moves. We're in the middle of a pandemic, an economic downturn, and social injustice and social unrest. In the midst of all of this, there are a lot of people who are scared, who don't know what to do, who have no idea what pitching is, or think that pitching only has to deal with pitching for money, not understanding that pitching is life. Anytime you're on the phone with your friend and you're talking about that no good man, that no good woman in your life, how you hate your job, that's pitching. What it is you're getting people interested in what you want to talk about and talking about the things that are of interest to you. So if you're going for a job interview, you're pitching. If you're talking to your friends, you're pitching. If you're going before an investor, you're pitching. If you're at a networking event, you're pitching. If you are wanting to have the media interested in what you're doing and focus on you, that's pitching. So in the midst of all of this, again, what time is it? It's time to reflect. What's working versus what's not working. It's time to change things up. And it's also time to step it up. There's so many people who are so quiet right now, not realizing that it's time to get visible. It's time to come with a different flavor. It's time to come with a different passion and a different energy. There are people being booked and busy right now. There are people who are getting those corporate training opportunities. There are people who are getting media interest. I should know because it's happening to me and my clients right now. And it's time to take it to the next level. That's why, what time is it? It's your time. Next slide. So on this agenda, we're going to be talking, when we're talking about perfecting your pitch, we also have to talk about confidence before we talk about perfecting your pitch. A lot of people struggle with how do they do it? Like they may have the right words, but they don't know how to convey that confidence. And you want your confidence to enter the room long before you do. So they know they're anticipating something. So this picture is of the power button. We're gonna turn up the power right now. We're gonna bring this all together and then we're gonna move to the next steps. So I wanna tell you a little story because I think that this will truly help you all understand the power of pitching. So how do you win a no-win situation? No, don't go back.
Sorry.
So how do you win a no-win situation? You rewrite the rules. So what does that really mean? Let me share that with you. And if you all notice that there's something wrong with my mouth, about 2-3 months ago, I was speaking at an event and I was tired when I got off stage and I fell down the stairs and knocked out my front tooth. And so I had a cap put on it and was going back to get a crown, but the pandemic really hit and I'm in New York. So there's no dental offices open. So my crown fell off. And that's one of the things I teach all the time is still show up. People are not bothered. But if you tell them in the beginning, they're not just standing there like, I think she's missing a tooth. Yes, I'm missing a tooth. Yes. But that has not stopped me from being booked and busy or having corporate gigs. I promise you, it hasn't stopped at all. So again, how do you win a no-win situation? You want to disarm people. Tell them up front. If you think there's some fatal flaw, there isn't in this moment. So how did I get started in pitching? How did I get started? I had no money, negative $400 in my bank account. And I wanted to start my first company, Curvy Girls Lingerie. Now, I was 327 pounds. I'm in New York City, y'all. I was cute though, but I was 327 pounds. I was dating a very famous Hollywood actor who I will not reveal his name. He is deceased now. And the way he used to make me feel about myself was incredible. And I felt like there were so many women, curvy women, walking around feeling like unwanted, unappreciated, disrespected. They didn't matter. And I wanted to create a company. Now, I'm not a designer. I have no background in business. And I just felt like God kept telling me, you're starting this business. Told my friends, they said, you're fat, you're black, You don't have an Ivy League degree. It'll never happen. Okay. But God kept telling me something else. So I had this feeling I was supposed to be in an event. It was called the Crane Small Business Awards. Now, y'all know I didn't even have a business, but in my mind, Curvy Girls existed. It was $300 for the ticket. I did not have the money. Got a credit card, put the ticket price on the credit card. Walked into this event in my best Calvin Klein dress, my best shapewear, snatched as much as you can snatch up a 327-pound woman. And I saw CNBC as a media sponsor, MSNBC. And I had a decision to make. Who was I going to speak to? God said, you can only speak to MSNBC. You haven't stolen any money, so you can't be on American Greed. Okay, cool. Silliness. Walked up to the producers at MSNBC. Did not know what I was going to say, but I knew I was supposed to say something. So they're laughing and talking, oh, Todd, hey, who are you? I'm glad you asked. My name is Precious Williams, and I'm the proud founder and CEO of Curvy Girls Lingerie. We're the ultimate shopping experience for full-figure divas and plus-size fashionistas. They looked at me and laughed. Now I'm thinking, hold up, that's my best work. It's my best work. And they were like, no. That was really good. Have you heard of our show Elevator Pitch? Now, y'all know I hadn't. I had no idea. But when you're in the moment, y'all know, act as if. I said, of course, yes. They said, we think you'd be great to be on the show. You're the only person who's ever walked up to us today and pitched. I didn't even know, y'all, what that meant because I had never pitched before. I've been a professional speaker since I was 16 years old, but I did not know about pitching. They're bringing me the host, JJ Ramberg. I'm so scared, y'all. My bladder is so full. I don't know what I'm going to say. She gets called to be on stage, so they bring me her booking producer, a tall, elegant Black woman. She takes one look at me, and I could tell by the look on her face she was not impressed. She looks at me. She's like, oh, I've heard of you, Precious Williams. Code, y'all, code for you better bring it in this moment. She said, give me your elevator pitch. Y'all, I had no idea what an elevator pitch was, but God, help. I started talking because in my mind, my business was real. She said, stop. You're really good. She said, you can be on the show. Y'all, there were tears in my eyes. I couldn't believe I talked myself on a national television, on a show I never heard of. She says to me, can I have your business card? Y'all know I had no money. So I said, oh, I've been here all night. I ran out of cards. She says, here's my card. I flew home, y'all, flew. Emailing her. She calls me 2 days later. She's like, the producers and I are looking for your website. We're so excited. Y'all, we didn't have a website because it didn't exist. So I said, yes, we're going through a rebranding process at this point. When you have me on the show, we'll be ready. She said, oh, okay. It worked. My friends and I got together and put together a site. I'm so glad y'all don't see the site today. It was pathetic, but we did the best we could because we didn't know anything. This is in 2011, 2012. When they came and picked me up in a Cadillac Escalade to take me to Rockefeller Center on February 9th, 2012, I cried because I couldn't believe it was really happening. They whisked me onto the set. Melissa Harris Perry, Alex Whitten, all of them are there. And I'm trying to hold back tears and get my makeup done. And then I go on to the real set. They set up the lingerie. It's an elevator. I'm looking at the investors who are walking towards me, and I just start pitching. After I finished, I went deaf. I didn't hear anything. Like, it was just at that moment. When I finally came to, I heard the host say, that was one of the best pitches I have ever heard in the history of this show. When I tell you that one pitch experience got me $500,000. I went from negative $400 to a $500,000 check. How do you win a no-win situation? You rewrite the rules. For everybody who told me it would never happen, I'm too fat, I'm too Black, I don't have an Ivy League degree, I have no business experience, I'm not a designer. It happened. It happened. So what do you think I did differently from how most people would have approached it? Had I said, I'm creating a lingerie company for plus size women, nobody would have paid attention. Nobody. Because people have an idea of plus size women. But when I said full figure divas and plus size fashionistas, it intrigued them. So what did you learn from this experience? If you change your language, you change the game. That's how you win a no-win situation. You might be saying, how was that a no-win situation? If my own people told me it wouldn't work, if my family told me it wouldn't work, if people that I loved and admired told me it wouldn't work, God said it would, and it did. So we win a no-win situation by rewriting the rules. Are y'all ready? Let's go. Next slide. Here's my contact information. You can take a picture. If I say anything today, in addition to your comments and everything, post it on social media. This gives me social proof and people know I am who I say I am. Can you go back just to make sure they took a picture of that?
Okay.
And if you can't, no worries, we'll start. Okay, so take a picture. If I say anything, LinkedIn, I'm Precious L. Williams, Instagram @PerfectPitchesP, on Twitter @PerfectPitchP, on Facebook @PerfectPitchP, and I am Precious @PerfectPitchesByPrecious.com. Next slide. So just to give you a little flavor of who you're dealing with, I am the hashtag killer pitch master. I'm a 13-time National Elevator Pitch Champion. In fact, I am the 2013 Black Enterprise Elevator Pitch Champion. I got the name the Killer Pitch Master from Robert Townsend. Yes, 5 Heartbeats, all of that, and MC Light when I won in Columbus, Ohio on May 16, 2013, my last pitch competition. I'm a former attorney in the great state of New York, passed the bar on my first try. And I sincerely and love working with successful women entrepreneurs, speakers, corporate executives, Fortune 500 companies, and top nonprofits. My clients, current clients, include Microsoft, Google. I'm a pitch coach for Google, LinkedIn, and also medium-sized businesses as well as small businesses. And yes, I've appeared on Shark Tank season 8 in 2016 with my company, Curvy Girls Lingerie. And I've also coached five contestants who've been on Shark Tank, and I've written their pitches and perfected it for them. So when I tell you I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. Yes, I've been in Wall Street Journal. My first book, Bad Bitches and Power Pitches for Women Entrepreneurs and Speakers Only, was a #1 bestseller, and it was reviewed by Forbes magazine. Next slide. I am also more than a businesswoman. I'm a full-figure diva on a mission to change the world. I'm a poet, and I love speaking at events. As y'all can tell, I change my wigs like I change my underwear every day. I never look the same. I love it. I love being different, and I embrace difference. I want you to come with your questions today because we are going in. Next slide. This is my book, Bad Bitches and Power Pitches for Women Entrepreneurs and Speakers Only. And it really teaches you the art and science of pitching. If you never experienced me before, you will love this book. In fact, Forbes magazine wrote about it and the article was called Pitching is Bitching. I said, y'all can curse in Forbes magazine? Word. Next slide. So what is Perfect Pitches by Precious? We are a confidence building pitch, presentation, and communication skills company. We really teach you how to have the rock star confidence to go into any room and kill it with your pitch. Whether that's a media pitch, an investor pitch, a speaker pitch, an elevator pitch, that's what we do. This is me in action. As you can tell, it's a different wig. And as you can see, holding court, this is what I do. Next slide. Here's a testimonial. My girl, Renee, is a CPA out in Long Island, and she invited me to speak before her networking group. I had no idea. I thought it was going to be a bunch of women. It turned out to be 90% Jewish men. I'm sitting up here scared like, you didn't tell me that. She said I didn't have to. You're ready. And so I spoke to them, went all in, and after I was finished, every man in the room stood up to buy my book for their wife, their girlfriend, some for themselves, but we're not going to address that issue. Here's a testimonial from a young man who started a company teaching young people how, even without a college degree, you can get a great job. And this was his recommendation. As you can tell, I'm the chocolate drop in the room. Next slide. Perfecting your pitch begins. Who's ready? Who's ready? Let me know you ready. Let me know in the comments. Thumbs up. Let's go. We ready? Okay, Joanne. Let's do it. Okay. Next slide. So first, we're going to talk about confidence. We're going to talk about confidence because people just think that just because I string words together beautifully, that's all I do. Have you ever been in a situation, honestly, have you ever been in a situation where you were too scared to take the next step? You were too afraid to go after an opportunity. You were too afraid to ask a VIP to work with you. You were too afraid to ask a guru for attention and time. No, you have to go back. Go back, please. I'm telling you, we've all been there. Confidence is not easy, especially when we live in a world that tells us all day, your race is wrong, your class is wrong, your hair is wrong, your body shape is wrong, everything about you is wrong, and you're constantly fighting against it to be heard, for your company to be taken seriously, for you to get the big boys, the medium boys, and the small boys to pay attention to you. So confidence to me really means that no matter what, have an unshakable belief in yourself. If they tell you no, you keep moving anyway. Remember, persistence beats resistance. What confidence is not? People say arrogance, but I think that confidence and arrogance are on the same continuum. I really believe that. Michelle says, yes, I believe in faking it until you make it. My mother always says, make lemonade out of lemons. Yes, and we all heard the Beyonce Lemonade album. We are here. We are here. Confidence is arrogance under control. You better go there, Anthony. You better go. So if you've ever been in a situation where you feel like you're walking and you're running to nowhere, or you're pushing a boulder uphill and you know it's going to slide back at any time, that's what it's like to lack confidence. And today, if nothing else you've learned, let's go kick butt together. There are people less talented than you that have the audacity to get out there and go after what they want. They don't have half of your talent, half of your skill set, half of your ability. So don't ever let that stand in your way. You are special. You are a part of Icaba. They don't bring in bums. They bring in the best of the best. Carry that with you. Next slide. Here are 3 ways that I want you to build confidence in 2020. Yes, I have Wonder Woman or Wakanda forever. Visualize yourself as you want to be and hold it firm. Ever since I was a little girl in St. Louis, Missouri, I was always told I was ugly, stupid. No man would ever want me. I'd never have friends. I'd never get out of the hood. I'm the only one in my family to this day in 2020 with a college degree and a law degree. The only one. I went to college from 1997 to 2001 and law school from 2003 to 2007. I'm still saying because I knew who I was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be in the inner city of St. Louis, Missouri for the rest of my life. It wasn't to be in the projects. It wasn't to have multiple baby daddies back in the day. It was that I saw myself as someone special and I was going hard no matter what, who believed in me and who didn't. My family didn't believe in me and they still struggle to believe in me today. I'm the black sheep for success, not for anything else. I want you to affirm yourself no matter what. Just because she said no and he said no, God says yes, move forward, affirm yourself. Tell yourself you are the greatest of all time. The world will move to meet you. I promise you. And do something every day that scares you. I don't care if you go on LinkedIn and reach out to a VIP in your book and ask for an opportunity to speak to them. Pitch yourself. What's the worst that can happen? They can say no today, and in 6 months, I'm rocking with you. I'm rocking with you. No means not now, but it doesn't mean forever. Trust me and believe that. Believe it. I am not for everybody. I'm loud. I'm gregarious. I'm in your face and I'm unapologetically me. In fact, I showed up with blue hair today. You know how many people would tell me you make no sense? You're not my tribe. Next slide. So let's talk about elevator pitch 101. So next slide. Just want to give you that visual. So the elevator pitch essentials. We're going over the basics of pitching. So let's pretend you're on the elevator with Sir Richard Branson, or y'all remember Black Enterprise with Earl Graves? I know he's deceased, but he is such a wonderful person. Let's say you get on the elevator, he's there. Here's how you look at elevator pitching. Like floor 1, who are you? And let me give you a tip. Who you are is more important than what you do. Number 2, floor 2, what do you do? Be very clear on that. Floor 3, what makes you unique? Bring it off with the secret sauce. Blow them away with the secret sauce. And floor 4, how do you do it and who does it affect? Go back. You're moving too fast.
Oh, sorry. I was clicking on something else on the screen. And
it's all gravy. You know how we do. So think about that. So these are the basics, right? So if you're putting a pitch together, I want someone, as we go on, to do a pitch based on the basics. Just, you can write it in the comments. Or if you want to say it out loud, let Hutch know, and we'll let you go. I just want you to get a visual of what a basic pitch looks like. So when you're at networking events, this is what you hear all the time, right? And I'm going to show you a way to step your game up, okay? So this is the elevator pitch basics. Someone take me up on the challenge. Somebody volunteer. You can unmute your microphone and just say, take me now. I want to hear someone volunteer and take this basic pitch challenge. Or you can write it out. This is a safe space. No one's going to cut you up. I'm so excited. Everybody's afraid? No one's going to volunteer?
Hey, Precious, it's Ariana. I'll take you up on it.
Drop it, Ariana. I'm ready.
I'm Ariana Silka. I'm a global healthcare executive. And what makes me unique is I help develop healthcare systems throughout the Caribbean. And it's going to affect 1.5 billion Caribbean nationals throughout my tenure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's your call to action? What do you want people to do after they hear you?
I would say start donating and start helping the Caribbean with their healthcare initiatives, their equity, etc.
Okay. First of all, I really want to thank you. You know what you did that very few people do is they put themselves out there. Because you're visual, I'm going to remember you. I'm going to remember what your company or nonprofit actually does. I'm going to remember that it's in the Caribbean. I'm going to remember who you help. And if you ever have a chance to pitch, do it. I don't care what nobody says, because the people who stand out are willing to be counted, right?
Right.
So now I'm gonna flip it on you, right? So we're gonna take it to the next level. You ready?
Okay.
All right. Next slide. So before we go into our 3 advanced tips, and this is for the young lady who volunteered and for everyone else, here are a couple of things I want you to think about turning your pitch into perfect pitch or into killer pitch. Number 1, you have to master your story. You have to have a story in your pitch, right? It doesn't have to be a long story, but you want to make sure that people understand who you work with. Yeah, Ariana, you better go. Master your story. Number 2, be bold and unexpected. So how you introduce yourself changes things. How you introduce your pitch. So do you start with a question? Do you start with a startling quote? Do you drop some books to get all eyes on you? But never start with your name and the name of your company. Never. Number 3, have your demographic, focus on who you're supposed to be talking to. So make sure it's clear from the beginning who you work with and why, which all goes into your story too, right? And number 4, you always want to have a call to action. So does anybody ever, yeah, I did say that, Joanne, I said, I don't ever start with my name and the name of my company. When I was in the beginning, I did. Now I've learned that there are other ways to start, because if you start with the name of your company and your business, you do what everybody else is doing. And if you do what everybody else is doing, you'll get what you always got. You want to stand out. For example, does anybody want to hear the pitch, the part of the pitch I did for Shark Tank?
Yes.
I heard yes quickly. You better go, girl. Okay, so this is part of it because Shark Tank was 45 minutes, y'all. Ladies, it's Valentine's Day, and you finally met the man in your dreams. You know what time it is. It's time to find some sexy lingerie to set the mood off nicely. But you weigh over 200 pounds. What's a big girl in the city supposed to do? Well, if you're anything like me, then you went to Victoria's Secret and you found out that they don't even make a bra in your size. So then you went to Ashley Stewart and Lane Bryant. You didn't really like the selection. Finally, as a last resort, you went to Macy's, where your choices were black, beige, and white. Again, what's a big girl supposed to do? Well, that's why I created Curvy Girls Lingerie. At Curvy Girls Lingerie, we celebrate the beauty of curvy women and all that we do. And we are the ultimate shopping experience for them. And just so we're clear, there are over 40 million women size 14 or larger in the United States just like me. And we all want pretty underwear. And it's just too bad that most mainstream companies don't create any products for women my size. So you're probably wondering about finances. Just so we're clear, within 5 months, we cleared over 6 figures from our innovative website, our home parties, and our direct sales model. How did we do it? And then I will go into a little bit more. And then at the very end, my name is Precious Williams. Name of my company is Curvy Girls Lingerie. Thank you. So that was part of the pitch that got me on Shark Tank. And no, I never stood in line. I did not apply. They came to me. So that is part of the pitch that got me on Shark Tank. And just to go back to Shark Tank for just a hot minute, when I went on Shark Tank, I had a low-cut canary yellow peplum dress, an afro, and extreme makeup. You might be saying, why? Because I like to bring drama, energy, and intensity to what I do. When they opened those doors and my full-figure models were there looking delicious, like snacks, I'm walking down the hall thinking the music's gonna start. You know, it never started, so I didn't get to dance. I walk in, I stand on my X, I look at the sharks, and I'm telling y'all, it was surreal. I went in, they said action, I went in, and they were just loving it. And I said, okay, ladies, now let's get in formation. The door opened, my full-figure divas came out. Mark Cuban said, you go, girl. Damon John was glistening. And Robert Herjavec said to me, you are a master. You are a master salesman and a master at your craft. That's what I wanted. I don't go in to do easy and what everybody else does. So don't you ever get it in your mind that you want to be like everybody else. Create your own lane. That's how you change the game. Here are 3 advanced pitch tips. Number 1, be the expert. If you are not the expert at what you do, you're doing it wrong. If I ask you a question, or if an investor asks you a question, or a person asks you a question, have the answer and establish yourself as the expert. It is not enough to say, oh, I'm the killer pitch master and I have nothing behind me. There's no clients, no customers, there's nothing. You might be saying, well, what do you do when you don't have that? We'll talk about that in a second. But if you've been doing this, be true to this. I've been a speaker for 25 years and a pitch master since 2013. Everything around me screams what I do, but also so do my testimonials. People that I helped, people who've gotten to the next level, people who are speaking at Microsoft now, people who are getting hired by companies that don't even hire in a pandemic. Stop playing. Number 2, as you're creating your pitch, edit ruthlessly. You don't say the same pitch to every audience. You don't. So if you're looking for a corporate training gig, or if you want media, those pitches are going to be different. The media looks for something different than a corporation will. And you keep testing. Because I'm in New York, I used to go to different coffee shops to test my pitches. And because I tested my pitches, I could see what was working and what wasn't. Don't ask your family and friends. They love you. They're going to say you're great. And number 3, be bold. Defy the status quo. If they want, Pollyanna, I ain't never going to be Pollyanna. I'm going to be precious and I'm going to come through like I am. Get messed up tooth and all. I'm coming through. And you want to shock and awe from the beginning. When I'm at networking events, I'll say, ladies, raise your hands if you want to be a bad bitch with a power pitch. When I tell you women get so shocked, men raise their hands too. I'm like, I'm not talking to you. I'm about ready to get to you, but just let the ladies have their time. Next slide. All right. I know we're getting down to the end. Here are things for you all to consider. I'm gonna go through this real quick. Always have your theme songs, the things that pump you up when you're getting ready to pitch. Have your theme songs. Next. Touch next. Have smart pitch goals. And always, my internet connection is unstable, but we're gonna keep going. Always remember, have people around you who challenge you and aren't stuck. Go for the people who challenge you. Next slide. Here are two women who coached with me for their first pitch competitions and won. One woman, I only spoke to her for 1 hour. She won $15,000. Next slide. My girl, Roz, 4 coaching sessions with me. She took first place at the first annual Speaker Con last year. Won first place. Next slide. Be unrealistic, people. Everybody tells you to be realistic. I'm unrealistic. There's no way that a girl from the inner city of St. Louis who grew up with parents who didn't want her, who had everything thrown at her, been abused, almost murdered as a child, should be where I am today. I'm unrealistic, and that's gotten me this far. Next slide. If you are interested in pitch competitions, take a picture of this slide. And I know it'll be also sent to you too. Enter it, you can find it on this website. Next slide. I'm gonna be having the Bad Bitches and Power Pitches live 3-day experience in New York, but it'll be next year. We can talk about that later. Next slide. Here are some free resources for you. If you want to take my free pitch quiz that was created especially for y'all, go to www.perfectpitchesbyprecious.com/quiz. And if you're looking to have a free, yes, free, I promise you it's free, 30-minute coaching session with me, the Perfect Pitch Strategy session, email me at precious@perfectpitchesbyprecious.com and say Icaba in the subject line. Next slide. Here's a truth bomb. If you're having sales problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but my pitch ain't one. Next slide. My big ask, if you know of other organizations who are looking for someone like me to bring something fresh and energetic, holla at me, let me know. That's my big ask for you. Thank you. Next slide. Questions. And then next slide. Ooh. Okay, no, we're done. Thank you so much. How did you all like that?
Very good, very good.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
We do have a couple of questions. We've got one from Joanne. So Joanne, unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Drop it.
Sorry, I was trying to figure it out because I'm on my phone, my bad. Hey, Precious.
Hey.
You did that. You can take all my money. Whatever you selling, I'm buying.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? What's your question, love?
What was my question? Oh, how personal should we get with our story?
I'm so glad you asked that question. So different audiences require different things, right? So when I'm at Morgan Stanley or if I'm at financial services companies, I don't usually bring up my story. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't usually bring up my story. Depends on what audience I'm speaking to. If I'm speaking to finance professionals, I'll change it up. If I'm speaking to like a varied audience, I'll bring in my story. If it's for the media, I'll bring in my story and put a unique spin on it and how it applies to other people. If I'm speaking to an investor, I will do more so if they ask me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I do it.
Okay. So you have to, it's appropriate for the setting.
Yes, it does have to be appropriate. And I that's why I want to stress to all of you, your pitch should not be the same for every audience you speak in front of. It shouldn't be. How I came at Shark Tank was different from how I was in my pitch competitions, which is very different. So For example, last week or the week before last, I spoke at a global pitch event. I was the only Black woman there out of 21 countries that was the expert, right? So everybody else doesn't look like me. They put me on a panel with venture capitalists and angel investors. So I thought everybody would be interested in them. You know, I was just gonna come in and, say a couple of things, you know what I'm saying. And when I tell you, the investor said something that totally blew my mind. Shouldn't have blown, but it blew. They said, investors are always looking for ways not to fund you. So if you sound boring, or if they, have heard it before, or if it just doesn't make sense, you're already out in their mind. So then they said to me, Precious, why don't you pitch to us? Now, y'all know it ain't nothing but a word. I was like, all right, cool. Bam, I hit them with it. They were like, so how do we get information on your company? I was like, oh, but I thought I was looking for ways to not listen. They said, no, but you have a different flavor and an energy. Like you have a cadence, and you had us intrigued from the moment you spoke. And I said, oh, because you're so used to people not bringing it. I get you. And so what that told women who look like me, or women of color from around the world, is that you can do it the Google way. Who I am, what I do, who I serve, or whatever. Or you can come at them from a totally different standpoint. That's why I say, start off with a startling statistic. Ask a question, even if it's rhetorical. You're not even waiting for the answer. Keep moving. You want to do something different, because if you start off differently, they're forced to listen now because you sound different. If you start off with your name and the name of your company, that's irrelevant. You can keep that to the middle and the end. What's important is, why the hell should I invest in you? And while we're on this track, why should I hire you? What? Always be ready for those questions. Why? Why should I? Well, let me give it to you. Let me give you that juicy, tasty morsel and that nugget of my pitch that's going to open the door to more conversations, more meetings. That's what a pitch does. It doesn't give them everything. It just gives you a taste that you want more, right?
The question is from Celicia Smith-Gordon.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Celicia.
Precious, have you found in your trajectory of success times where you've needed to change something about yourself that maybe you had not considered, but you're like, dang, other than your wigs?
You had to go to our queen. Let me tell you this, and I'm not sure if even Hutch knew this. You know how on social media everybody gives the highlight reel? Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm bossed up. I'm with Les Brown. Okay, all right. So there was a time in my life where I thought that that's what mattered. Being seen with this person, being here, whatever, right? It almost cost me my life, because that really wasn't me. It wasn't me. The reason why it wasn't me is because I'm a different type of woman. And I wanted to create my own lane. I wasn't looking to be a motivational speaker. I wasn't looking to be that person. I was looking to be me. And because I didn't come at it from me, I almost took my life on January 22nd, 2017. The love of my life, the man who inspired Curvy Girls Lingerie, he died. And rather than grieve, I don't even know if there's a right way, I started drinking. And as opportunities kept coming my way, Shark Tank, all of these amazing things, to cope, I drank. I was in a movie with Sir Richard Branson and Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul. What nobody knew is that at night, when my PA drove me back home I lived in Santa Monica, and we taped in a glass mansion in Malibu. I drank to sleep. I drank when I woke up. I drank to be on set. It was crazy. I look back like, what was I thinking? I was grieving and I didn't know how. I was also tripped out because I didn't think that in my normal skin I was good enough. I'm here with these people who look nothing like me. Oh, do they think I'm the token? Do they think I'm the poor one? I was so messed up, not realizing the gift God gave me. I was there because of who I am, not what I did. So when I attempted to take my life, it was on my 38th birthday. My cousin came home, the man whore that he is. For some reason, he came home and he found me unconscious. 2 minutes later, I'd have been dead. When I came out of when I became conscious, I was so mad I couldn't even kill myself. And then the reality set in. I squandered all my money. All those great people that we throw up as gurus all turned their back on me. And then the real work began. I was homeless on the streets of New York from February 27, 2017 to September 1st, 2018. And I was always told, oh, you did it great the first time, but just get a high paying job. That's all people saw in me. If I couldn't get those people to look at me anymore, I'm nothing. Get a job. When I walked out of that life transformation program, I've been clean and sober 3.5 years. I was in a Christ-centered program, and God told me, you're going to do it again my way. When I walked out of that program, my first speaking engagement was Bottomless Closet for women in transition getting beautiful clothes to look good for their job interviews, right? I did so well that they introduced me to Viacom. Viacom, VH1, all of that, yes. They said, we nominated you to speak at Viacom and they're gonna pay you. I just walked out of a freaking homeless program. What? From there, those introductions opened the door to other speaking gigs. I went from not speaking for 2 years to being an international professional speaker just like that. Just like that. The network opened up. So what you're seeing before you is not even 2 years. This was September 1st, 2018. It is June 26, 2020. Microsoft, LinkedIn, Google, big companies. I was flown around the world. No one asked how I got there. Because of the networks I moved in, they never asked how did it happen. They just assumed I am who I say I am because of what I did before. The people that dissed me years ago are now asking to work with me. So
no, the networks, so I think, but my first, so changing, you've gone through so much, but from a personal, whether it's an inward or an outward standpoint of what people see, who you're approaching, who you're networking with, who you're interacting with, is there anything that you needed that you changed about you?
Yes, I changed having to be perfect to be considered. The way I talk to y'all is how I talk to the corporate execs. I'm not, hi, I'm Precious Williams. I'm so thankful to be here today. That's not me. And if you don't believe me, some of my clients will watch me when I did some Microsoft thing. They asked me to do something publicly. And I said, balls to the walls. When I tell you, people are like, did she just say that in front of these executives? I'm like, what do you expect me to say? They know me.
Still authentically you.
I am authentically me. Went to Google with a blue wig. I don't care.
Oh, stop. Okay.
I do not care. I do not.
Okay, we got a couple more questions.
Oh, sorry, Hutch.
That's
Thank
okay.
you, Felicia.
I know. I'm jumping in.
Look at Hutch said, hold up, Precious. You running out of time. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
Clarissa.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Precious, thank you so much for your testimony. It was just truly amazing. And I know we're running out of time, but quickly, you kind of glossed over the investor pitch. Could you just give us a quick investor pitch, just an example of an investor pitch?
So because we're running out of time, I will say this. An investor pitch.
I'm going to stop you right there, Precious. I'm going to stop you right there. If you're willing to stay, and everybody wants to get their questions asked, we can continue to go.
If you just allow me to see if I have something immediately afterwards, I will let you know. Okay. But to answer your question, Clarissa, when it comes to an investor pitch, what I always train my clients on is making sure that, as well as you know your financials, right? So we all know that you got to know your financials, but you have to dress it up in a story. When you're going before investors, you have to know their backgrounds. What do they really invest in? What do they really celebrate? Do you really fit in the mold of what they do? If you don't, how are you going to use this relationship to go further? So when I speak to investors, and how I got the $500,000 from that appearance on MSNBC, was because I could quantify the market. I could show how we would make an impact in that market. I could show them what I do differently from my competitors, which was sexy, stylish, and fashion forward lingerie. I could show and demonstrate without actually ever showing them my product. I never went with my product. I wanted them to see in their mind what I can do with just words, right? And then I also showed the traction that I had. I already had clients. I already created my own direct sales model, that network market. I did that from scratch. You know what I mean? And I showed them how we had stylists on standby, waiting to be a part of our, waiting to be a part of our company. You know what I mean? So I showed the traction. It wasn't just an idea. It was fully fleshed out. And being able to show that and demonstrate that and have the confidence, whatever question you ask me about my company, because it was just me who built it from the ground up, bring it. I'm ready for you. Bring it.
Right. Very good. Thank you so much. That was very
You're welcome, love. But make sure your financials are together, but your financials aren't everything, because especially if you're a Black entrepreneur, there are certain things they want to highlight about you when they're speaking to other people. So make sure your story is on point.
Thank you. I'm going to buy your book too. Thank you so much.
Hey.
All right, Precious, we're at 12 o'clock. And,
yes.
So I know there were 2 questions left, whether or not.
Okay. I was just looking to see what my schedule looks like, but let's just go.
All right.
Y'all ready? I'm hungry. I'm ready. Let's go.
Well, Ariana has a question for you.
Ariana.
Hi, Precious. Thank you for giving us that background, because I mean, I'm from the same background where resilience is key.
Girl, so you better know it.
I just wanted to put that out there. But my question for you is, I know there's no secret formula on like getting things done when it comes to a pitch, but I did want to know how much time it took you to perfect that pitch, to edit it, you know, to have your body respond properly to it. Because, you know, when you're in front of a lot of people, some people freeze up. Right. So I wanted to know, like, how did you get over that? And how did you, I know it's just being you, but I just want to know if there's additional tips to that.
Well, yes, there is. Because I've been a professional speaker since I was 16 years old. The one thing that, you know, I as natural as I seem to you all, as natural as I may seem to you all, I work at it. So creating a pitch is one thing, right? How I started perfecting it is another, right? It's totally another. So what I started doing is I would work on pitches for a while before. So I don't do pitches. So let's say I create a masterpiece. What I think is a masterpiece in an hour. Let's just say I do it in an hour. I literally, because of what my law school training, I literally over days work on it. Then I go into a mirror, you know, bathroom mirror, and I start rehearsing. And I start going over the pitch, especially like the first minute or two. I want to be able to do that so well that no matter what happens, somebody starts screaming when I'm speaking, I can handle it, right? So I'm practicing for hours and hours and hours. And as you practice, you'll hear the words that set your pitch on fire, right? And so you get your mannerisms together, but you don't start there. You start with memorization. And then after a while, it starts to roll off easily. So then what I started doing is I would go to coffee shops. Now I know we're in a pandemic, so I would call up my entrepreneurial friends, right? And I would be like, yo, let's do a Zoom. I'm gonna holla at your girl. So, but before I used to go to coffee shops and I would just ask people, because I have rock star confidence. I don't care if no one's ever said no. Maybe it's because I'm a big Black woman. Maybe I'm 230 pounds and I'm 5'9". Maybe they're too afraid to say no. I don't know. They'd be like, yeah, cool. And I'm like, listen, I'll even buy you a coffee or a donut. I don't care. And I would say, listen to this and tell me what you think. And if I would see their eyes light up, about to do this because they're disinterested. If I saw them kind of glaze for a second, oh, I got to step my game up. I got to step it up. I go back to the mirror, go back to writing, make sure it's popping. Go back to the coffee shops. Okay, I'm popping. And then that's what I do, right? So like when I do speaking events, right? When I do speaking events, of course, I've written out everything, put it in a PowerPoint, and then I move forward, right? Because I've been doing this a long time. But when it comes to true pitching, it's a process. It's such a process. And because I like to look all over, I'm not one who can sit at a podium and look out. Like I walk away from podiums. Podiums to me are what you do in the beginning. I walk the stage and I'm giving you that eye contact because I'm going and I know my craft. Do you know yours? Because I know mine. Does that answer your question, love?
Yes, and just to add to that part, when you're doing your pitch and you're getting like an idea of your audience, is it just do you build that off of just basic information, or like, because I know I've done pitch once where you had to kind of like, you know, research the person, the company, and who you're doing the pitch towards. But like, if it's a huge audience of 300 people, you know, how do you build it from that?
Well, again, I'm a natural speaker, so I've been doing this for 25 years now, so that does not bother me. That doesn't bother me. You know, I've spoken at, you know, football stadiums. The number of people never bothers me. It may bother other people. Do I get a little nervousness? Of course. Every time before I speak, I'm like this morning, Hutch, in my line when I said my internet's out. What are we gonna do? And then we just got it together. Like, you know what? This is the life of pitching, and this is the life of a speaker. Some things are gonna fall away. You adjust, and that's why you show up early. You meet people in advance. They become your friends. When you get scared, you look at them because you've already shook in their hands. You hug them. They're ready. They're like, I'm with her. I'm rocking with her. She shook my hand. She showed me love. So they with you. They're with you. And if it's an intimate event, girl, that's when I really get good, because I love my presence to precede me through the door. You go hear me loud before I walk through that door. So now you're like, who is this chick? Here I am, the killer pitch master. No one has my title. So let me show you why. Does that help, Ariana?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, love.
All right.
Anybody else?
One last question from David. He wanted to know if you work with recent college graduates.
I do work with recent college graduates. It depends on what it is they're seeking. Are they looking for a position? Or are they looking to get into a certain space? David, do you want to be more specific?
Yes, I mean it's a job right after graduate school. Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do. So yeah, and making sure that, because you know the question that people usually dread, right? Tell me about yourself.
Hey, yeah.
People go to their childhood, trauma, and it's like, dude.
Like we don't want that right now.
We don't want that. And if it's gonna go to your childhood, it has to relate to the passion that you're gonna have for the position, right? The transferable skills. But you know, we gotta say it in such a funky way, because if you have the interview, all y'all can do the job. Do you fit into the culture? Do you add a different type of flavor and energy that's going to raise up productivity? It's going to raise it up. These are the things that I want us to focus on, you know, should you ever choose to work with me or anyone else, to make sure you're ready for your job interviews. What are you going to bring different to the table? And how can you demonstrate that all throughout the interview? So you're not just answering that question with coolness. You are answering every question. Like, it's not just enough to go to Google and do the research on what they say on their site. What do other people say about them? Who have you met from the company? What warm introductions have you done? Have you checked out this person's LinkedIn bio? What does it say versus what's on their on the website? What's the trending thing happening in the industry? I want you to come so thorough. They're not ready for you. They are not ready. Like, oh, snap. We thought we was coming through trying to intimidate. No. I cannot be intimidated. I know too much. And I know who I am. Do you know who I am? Let me drop a little tea on you. And now you know.
All right. Now you know. Better ask somebody. Hey, listen, Precious, they were asking for your contact information. I'm going to share my screen. If you could share your contact information with them, and they will also, everybody, you know, you will get a follow-up email from us with information in it as well. But if
Jerome, can you show that the slide with my contact information on it?
Okay, all right. Give me just
I think that would be better of me saying it. It's like
no, that'll be fine. Hold on, I had this one slide already up to show them. I'm gonna come right to that. Real quickly, everybody, I just wanted to let you know we've got a couple of webinars coming up. And, so the next one, July 8th, Money Matters with Morgan Stanley, discussing wealth building strategies with Morgan Stanley financial advisors and executives Gail Walden and Chuck West. We're going to also talk about the access to capital. There's a guy named Stephen Smith. He has a vegan fine foods. He's raised over $700,000 on crowdfunding through the WeFunder crowdfund platform. And he's going to go back for another round. And he has a vegan fine foods he launched just about less than 2 years ago, and it's down in Los Olas, right across from the museum, the IMAX museum there. And brother owns that place. David Wilson, who is the managing member of Equity Financial LLC, and Kevin Klingman, who's the SVP for Clivity Financial of Atlanta, who are going to be sharing diverse sources of capital and effective strategies to secure needed business funding. And then on Friday, July 17th, 6 p.m., grab your wine, grab your cocktail. We're going to talk about the art of investing. And we have actual family advisors, managing partner Tunde Ogalana, along with artist Charles Smart, who is the creator of Mark V Creations, and also Sugarcane Magazine publisher Melissa Davis Hunter, who are going to be discussing art appreciation from both the collector's taste perspective, but also from a wealth building perspective. All right, so we hope that you'll be able to make that, and let me get Precious's information up so that we can also make sure that you'll be able to reach out and contact her. Precious, as I'm doing that, if you want to have a final word or close up.
Yes, I want to thank Hutch. Jerome Hutchison. I want to thank you, Icaba. I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up today and not just dropping like, oh man, she's a little too much for me. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my zone of genius with all of you. It is honestly fun for me to be in front of all of you today. I am so thankful that Icaba sees the value in me and in each and every one of you by providing these type of webinars and seminars for all of you. If I could be of assistance to any of you, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm at precious@perfectpitchesbyprecious.com. My contact information is pulling up. My contact information is pulling up. Do you see it, Hutch?
Yeah, is that the free pitch quiz?
No. My contact info from my LinkedIn to social media. That too. They can take a picture of this and also my contact info. I think it's on top, contact info.
Okay.
So please take the quiz. Please reach out to me. It is an honor. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. Please let me know how you felt about this event. I am just honored to be here with you. Wakanda forever. And there it is, contact information. And just truly thank y'all. And if I could just get a picture afterwards of y'all just acting up, because I love that. And I'll post it on social media.
Okay.
That work, Hutch?
So as a matter of fact, guys, do a screen share right now, a screenshot, so you can have that information. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now let's go ahead and take this picture with Precious.
Yeah, you can take it off you can take this off the screen so I can get everybody.
Right, that's what I'm doing. Okay.
Hutch, you already ahead of me.
No, I'm just trying to catch up, girl. Just trying to catch up. Okay. All right. So if you got your video on, show up. If not, then you can let your representative do that for you. Go ahead, Precious.
Okay, so for all of y'all, I'm gonna ask y'all this question. I'm like, did you enjoy the killer picture? I said, act up. Yeah, just do whatever. Okay.
All right. Yay!
Yeah, hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah!
Okay.
Okay. Fantastic.
Right. Did y'all enjoy the killer pitch master?
Yeah!
Hell yeah!
Loved it.
Hell yeah!
Yes.
Woo!
Way to go.
All right.
Very nice.
Even the babies was acting up. I love it. Thank you all so much. Hutch, I hope that you invite me back.
Well, you're an Icaba member. You got to come back.
Well, yeah, so, that's really what it is.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And matter of fact, I will tell everybody in this audience, I haven't introduced her to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I've introduced her to Bernadette at South Florida Women of Color Empowerment. And I think Bernadette, they need to bring her here to speak as well. So If you're part of that group, then you know there's some people in here, Precious, who are part of that organization.
Y'all know what
That's
time
a great idea. This is
Y'all know what
Suzanne,
time
but
it is?
that's a great idea. Great idea.
So now that you have had a taste. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody, and have a wonderful
later.
day. Be blessed.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks, Hutch.
Okay. Thank you, Deborah.